the second time around, he gonna come guns blazing, and that's really when it's gonna be.
Gervonta Davis is all beast mode ahead of the Lamont Roach rematch. His training has progressed. It wasn't evident before their first conflict. The sharpness and explosiveness are back. Davis has been practicing diligently, keeping quiet in public, and using his skills to make a powerful statement. It's an intimate rematch. Floyd Mayweather has been closely monitoring the situation, and many close to the camp say that even Floyd was surprised by how difficult the first fight was. He had never seen Gervonta perform like this before. Davis is not showing any signs of complacency as he now goes all out, tightening everything around him. David Benavides, Floyd Mayweather's commentator, talked about the bout on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. They should have thought of it as a knockdown, he said. If they had counted it, it would have gone to Lamont Roach. Additionally, he commended Roach for being prepared, saying, "Lamont Roach came prepared." Benavides then concentrated on Davis's disposition. Tank was gassing Lamont Roach too much and showing him too much deference, which bothered me. In addition, he was talking about retirement and other topics. That is not how we typically view Gervonta Davis. Then he added, "Dude, Gervonta is a flipping beast," to back up Floyd's assessment of the new Tank.
Well, seeing the first fight, like I said, both of them are great fighters, man. I mean, good fighters, still great fighters. Who gonna have the edge this time? Not saying he gonna win though, but Lamont. He went away. Everybody saying that he won the fight. You know what I mean? You know, and then that when he took that knee, that really was supposed to be a disqualification. You know what I mean? You can't go to the corner and get your eyes right. You know what I mean? With the towel and all that. You know what I mean? Anybody else would.
Benavides also discussed their past as amateurs, implying that Roach simply understands Tank's style. They engaged in a lot of fighting throughout the amateurs, so perhaps the person holding your card was the main factor. However, I didn't like that he said he only wanted the money when he said he wanted to retire. Davis has not spoken in public since that evening. There has been no press conference or promotion, just training. The video shows him sparring more forcefully, striking pads more quickly, and maintaining compact and fast movements. The gym doesn't have a casual atmosphere or allow dancing or showboating. It appears that Davis is aware of the stakes this time. There would be real concerns about his position in the division if he lost this rematch, or even if he started to look mediocre.
Las Vegas and June. Okay, yeah. I was hoping that it'd just be, because I feel like that makes the most sense. But now that fight is prime time. When before it was why you fighting them, Tank? Now it's you gotta fight them.
That fast.
Right?
That fast.
And that just goes to show you just how fast, like, you could just change. You could turn the odds on the casino. Now Lamont can have his pick of the litter. Like, Shakur could fight Lamont next. Keyshawn could fight Lamont next. Like, and those are all fights that we watch. You know what?
On the other hand, Lamont Roach is confident that he won the first time going into the rematch. He stated, "I know I won that fight. This time, I'm not letting it go."
For Tank Davis, right? And if I'm being real here, right? The biggest fight for Tank Davis right now is the rematch. And the reason why I say it's the rematch is because everybody said that Tank lost the fight. The majority of fans said that Tank lost that fight because of the knee. So that's why I say the bigger fight.
Not holding back either, Jordan Roach Lamont's younger brother, who is also a fighter, stated, "I think my brother stops him this time. Gervonta can be hurt. We saw that. This time we push more, take more, and finish it." The Roach camp thinks Tank's 9th round knee wasn't just weariness. Rather, they think it was Tank mentally checking out under duress. Jordan went on, "We're not letting him breathe this time. No respect, no breaks. We saw something in him." Roach himself is supporting that view with actual money. In the rematch, he is placing a $250,000 wager on himself. That's personal belief, not just confidence. Roach Sr. stated that the current strategy is more aggressive, saying, "I know what I did the first time I already beat him, so I'll just do it again and leave with the belt this time. We've already figured him out, so we're not waiting for anything else. This is about getting the job done."
What do you have to do to create enough separation with this time?
That's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't give me the win, then I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gigs?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gigs, but I fought the best Gervonta that night.
One of the most well-known trainers in the sport, Robert Garcia, publicly declared after witnessing the first bout, "I had Lamont Roach winning." Davis didn't perform well enough in the later rounds, and he was the busier guy who made more clean shots. Although it wasn't a robbery, Davis didn't deserve the draw, in my opinion. This has led to a new form of pressure on Gervonta Davis. After that battle, his reputation as one of the world's most dangerous fighters suffered, and the boxing community saw that boxers like Benvad speaking candidly adds heat. He is now not only defending a championship, he is defending his name. The rematch is now about validity rather than hype. Tank must win, or else Lamont Roach's name will be brought up whenever he mentions 8. The intensity has shifted as a result. August is the planned date for the rematch. Davis isn't coming at it with arrogant vigor this time. Retirement or simply getting the bag are not discussed. Everything suggests that he views this battle as a battle that will define his career. Roach's group also notices the shift. Lamont Jr. stated, "He's going to train hard this time, I know that. But I don't care. I'm training harder, I'm smarter now. I've seen it. He's beatable." Jordan Roach went on to say, "That draw was the best thing that happened to us. It provided us with the plan. We are coming to grab everything now."
No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard him.
Additionally, they think Davis undervalued them. Roach Sr. stated, "Tank thought it was going to be easy. Now he knows, and now he's scared." Both parties are speaking in a very different tone than previously. Davis is quiet and concentrated. Roach is animated and vocal. Roach's proof of concept came from the first battle. They're coming to wrap up the narrative this time, not to hang out with Davis. Stop waiting for errors. They wish to impose the problem. Additionally, people are more conscious of how the judging process might proceed. Roach Sr. dealt with it. "We are aware that we will once more be entering his turf. We're taking it from him, not relying on judges. I believe it's clean."
It was the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch, because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Tank has fought in battles before, but he has never been the person who was considered fortunate. The public has never disagreed with him on whether he deserved the outcome. He has never rematched with an opponent who believed they had previously defeated him. This struggle is unique because of that. Roach wants this to be unsightly. Tank wishes to forget about March. The result won't only decide the WBA champion. It will reveal to the boxing community whether Lamont or Gervonta Davis is still the formidable opponent everyone thought he was. Roach's number is always there.
I look for a tough fight in the next fight, but I still see Gervonta winning. I think Gervonta will win it a little easier this time. But Roach is a heck of a fighter. He's going to give everybody a hard, anybody that fights is going to give a hard time. But I do think that Davis had an off night.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn and he said he wanted to make the Shakur Tank fight straight away. Obviously now Tank's going into the rematch. That won't happen yet, but when it does happen, Eddie's still adamant that could happen this year or straight after the Roach fight. How do you see that fight playing out?
Although there hasn't been an official confirmation yet, it is currently anticipated that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach will rematch in August at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The location seems locked in regardless of the date shift, despite some misunderstanding caused by a previous regulatory hurdle concerning the New York State Athletic Commission. There are other headlines that Davis is creating.
Lamont and Gervonta.
I like Lamont in the rematch.
What was that?
I started with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So,
Did you really win 20
I swear to God on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both? What adjustments do we see from?
There is a lot of conjecture surrounding a possible high-profile matchup with Jake Paul later this year. Paul and Davis are reportedly in the early stages of talks. Paul has been hinting at a fight that goes beyond conventional boxing lines, and he has Davis at the top of his list of targets. But currently, the outcome of the Roach rematch is the only factor influencing that possible fight. The excitement train may be derailed by a defeat or even a narrow victory, which would reduce the likelihood of a commercial showdown.
Either way, and I was hit with the draw decision. In my opinion, I could sit and take Ashton if I was judging the fight. I had to take up by 1 round, but that knockdown took it down a round. So, in my conclusion, I mean, like, I still think it's because I had to take up by like 1-2 rounds. It was, but that like knockdown, it was all over the place. So I really don't, depending on how the ref take the vote. I think the vote came into a refuge, honestly.
Did that teach you something about the business of boxing? Heading into the pros is like.
Paul spoke candidly about the matter on the Ariel Helwani show a few days earlier, stating, "I never really thought Tank was that good. All it would take is the perfect warrior to dismantle him. Honestly, someone who was really active and unafraid. Of his authority, I therefore consistently noticed a lot of flaws in his playing. It wasn't shocking to me that someone at last offered Tank some quality work." Paul thinks that Roach might have revealed Davis in the first bout, and that a rematch with Davis would be far less appealing if it happened again.
Yeah, Gervonta Davis and Lamont Rematch. Controversial draw. Who do you feel like wins the rematch?
Who is the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come big again. See, the first one was a tough one too. I had Lamont pulling off on my life, but yeah, smart. Like, I was mad at the draw. I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Yo,
Look, Lamont surprised me a lot, you know. So yeah, I'm still Lamont, man.
The opportunity is obvious. He has already forced a draw and is aware that he is a problem for Davis, and he now has the ability to thwart Tank's future schemes. That includes any conversations with Jake. Paul Roach has stated that he has no intention for that fight to take place, and that one of his goals is to destroy the Davis-Paul commercial machine. He views himself as a guardian of Tank's heritage as much as a competitor. He has a straightforward mindset. Davis must get through him. Clean if he wants the money, brand growth, and Mayweather comparisons.
Sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye. Yeah, don't matter. Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref. Can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops is a no?
Hell no.
Hey, fuck that.
Yeah. You know how many coach bet on him, man. He lucky he ain't running coach.
His trainer and father, Roach Sr., is as outspoken. He maintains that the first altercation wasn't an isolated incident. "We watched a terrific Gervonta that first night, I believe." He stated, "People can make excuses all they want, but there aren't many of them. Gervonta presents the rematch as Roach's validation rather than Davis's atonement, despite the fact that he performed some amazing things in the ring while competing against another outstanding fighter." Roach Sr. also talked about the future. will be significant for both of them if Lamont wins. So I'm sure Devont wants a rematch, and we really do want one.
He got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the.
In addition, he is already considering his legacy. When we reach that stage and take on elite fighters like Gervonta, we want to fight like this. Lamont wants the greatest fights available because, as you mentioned, he wants to leave a lasting legacy. We want to continue at that level. We therefore desire legacy battles. We would be more than delighted to share the ring with Shocker Stevenson if that bout were to occur, because he even called him by name.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted and out there. Because I ain't the rap. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to fight short out of that, then fight short out of that. But if you voluntarily take me, then that's all that is. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on it. I was relying on what I was doing. I think I was taking. I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing.
6 months ago, the prospect of a bout between Roach and Stevenson could have looked ludicrous. No longer Roach Sr. is already casting that scenario as attainable if he defeats Davis handily in the rematch, making him a major player in the lightweight class overnight. Instead of requesting Shakur, they hope to earn that battle. Davis, however, is still quiet on social media. There have been no public remarks on Jake Paul or Roach, but when asked on a Safe Place podcast who he would most like to fight, he unexpectedly said, "Me versus Floyd Mayweather." The reaction instantly sparked incredulity and outrage. Calling out your mentor and the man who helped you create your career is offensive to many spectators, even if most fighters aspire to defeat the best in the ring.
A lot of people doing that. Do you feel like you'll fight better than I think so, for sure. And, you know, you had mentioned that they've known each other since childhood. Yeah. So maybe that had something to do with that first fight. But now they've fought, they've gotten that experience out of the way. So I think we're going to see both of them a lot more. Way better, yeah. Definitely more locked in.
Davis, however, made it apparent that this was more than simply a fantasy game. He referred to it as a dream fight and elevated it above all other titles. Not Jake, not Shakur, and not Haney Paul. It was Floyd Mayweather Jr. The message was clear, even though there was no disrespect or trash talk in the comment. Davis wants to confront the man who previously mentored him in order to demonstrate that he is now on that level. There has previously been conflict between Davis and Mayweather Promotions. He is managing his career on his own, and the gap between them has gradually widened. Bringing up Mayweather as a potential opponent just serves to reinforce the notion that the divorce wasn't as amicable as it seemed on paper.
Say, man, look, man. Your beef is not with Floyd Mayweather. You sitting here beefing with Floyd. It's a fighter out here that's been calling your name that want to fight you. Gervonta Tank Davis, let's make the fight happen, man. I'm tired of tweeting. I'm tired of talking.
Mayweather has not yet replied. He continues to admire Davis in public, but according to insiders, the podcast remark took him by surprise. The fact that Davis views Mayweather as the ultimate aim, even if it never results in a fight, says a lot about his current state of mind. Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Matchroom Boxing, offered his opinion on the Davis vs. Roach scenario while all of this drama unfolded. Hearn stated, "Now Davis has a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight." In an interview with Fight Hub TV on March 27th, Davis is not going into a typical title defense, he underlined. There is pressure on him. There are differences in expectations. The way fans view things has evolved. Hearn went on. Therefore, I believe he will be more focused on this. However, Roach is a skilled fighter, so it won't be simple. That might be telling. Not even one of the sport's top boosters is certain which Davis will appear. Davis was once thought to be unstoppable, but now there is uncertainty that didn't exist before. Even Roach, a second-tier opponent, has now demonstrated that he can defeat him. WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is keeping a close eye on everything that is happening. He has previously stated that he wishes to challenge the victor. In an interview with Ring magazine that was released on May 18th, Stevenson shared his thoughts on the impending rematch.
Shakur Stevenson said that if you can't get the rematch, he has a championship fight waiting for you. What do you think about that?
That's why I love him. Genuinely speaking, man, that's what I want to do. I want to fight the best fights. You know, like I said, hopefully we can get the rematch. If not, more than likely we can get in there with Shakur because, you know, we already talked. And it's all about showing who's the best. It's all about.
I hope that fight takes place. In reference to the rematch between Roach and Davis, Stevenson stated, but he also made it apparent that, unlike everyone else, he doesn't undervalue Roach. I don't view it that way. I'm not a guy who thinks, like everyone else, that it's a rematch and he's simply going to go in there and knock this guy out or make it so much easier. Then, Stevenson disclosed something that the majority of fans were unaware of. He had placed a wager on the first fight I've ever been in the ring with, and I know Lamont Roach has been waiting for this chance his entire life. Lamont Roach and I have been in the gym together. I went and placed a wager on that bout because I knew Lamont Roach wouldn't receive a decision and I know who he is. I therefore wager that the battle will last.
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going back. So he better be on his A game.
Did you think Lamont won the first fight?
I asked two questions at the same time. Right? You really want to move up to 154 after the fight? Yo, you know, I kind of said 154. I probably been stretching it. I'm stretching 154, but I'll fight him at 147.
Even though most people still believe that Roach Tank is working hard to disprove everyone, do you think he will share your opinion below and subscribe for more updates?